Everyone knew Mr. Brennan, retired teacher, neighborhood watch captain, the man who found your lost dog, brought meals when you were sick, organized the annual block party. For a decade, he made Oakwood Heights the safest place to raise a family. Until investigators realized the only crime in 10 years was committed by the man preventing all the others. From which city in the world are you watching this video today? If you believe that the people you trust could never hide secrets from you, make sure to subscribe and watch this story to the end. Because some masks are so perfect that when they're removed, there's nothing left underneath. Oakwood Heights, located in northern Massachusetts about 40 kilometers from Boston, was the kind of place where the American dream still felt real. White picket fences, manicured lawns, children riding bicycles in the street, doors left unlocked even at night. Population 1,500. Everyone knew everyone. Oak Street was the heartbeat of the neighborhood. 48 homes, each built in the 1950s, each with its own story. The Henderson family had lived at number 43 for 30 years, the Nguyen family at 51, Vietnamese immigrants, 2 generations living together. The Martinez family at 47 had only been there 3 years but had already become part of the fabric. In 2014, the Oakwood Community Association launched a neighborhood watch program to enhance resident safety. A neighboring community had seen an uptick in burglaries, and the worry spread like ripples in water. The association president, 65-year-old retired police chief William Crawford, organized a meeting. "Protecting our safety is our responsibility," he said. "We trust the police, but they can't be everywhere. We need to look out for each other." 14 people attended that meeting. Among the volunteers was Richard Brennan, a 50-year-old retired teacher who had spent 30 years teaching high school history and had taken early retirement 2 years after losing his wife to cancer. Childless and living alone, Brennan sat quietly in the back row, taking meticulous notes. When Crawford asked, "We need a coordinator. Who would like to volunteer?" Brennan raised his hand. His voice was soft but resolute. "I can do it. I have the time, and I love this neighborhood. After I lost my wife, this community kept me going. Now I want to give back." No one objected. A few even applauded. And so Richard Brennan became Oakwood Heights' guardian angel. For the first 6 months, Brennan worked with incredible precision. He created Excel spreadsheets, listing every household, phone numbers, emergency contacts. He established weekly patrol routes, organized volunteers. He carried groceries for elderly neighbors, mowed their lawns, cleared their sidewalks when it snowed. For families going on vacation, he'd say, "Don't worry, I'll check on your house," and he gave them real peace of mind. In the summer of 2015, his first success came. A young man tried breaking into the Henderson family's home through a window when Brennan spotted him during patrol. He called 911. Police arrived within 3 minutes, and the suspect was caught. The local newspaper ran the story, "Neighborhood Watch Hero Prevents Burglary." The Hendersons invited Brennan to dinner, and the neighborhood board gave him a plaque of appreciation. For the next 9 years, Oakwood Heights maintained its reputation as the community with the lowest crime rate in Massachusetts. According to FBI statistics, 0 burglaries, 0 assaults, 0 serious crimes in a decade. The Boston Globe published an article in 2020, "How One Man Made a Neighborhood the Safest in New England." Brennan's photo was on the cover, smiling, surrounded by neighborhood children. But no one knew. That smile, that kindness, that trust, it was all part of a perfect mask. And underneath the mask, Richard Brennan was playing a very different game. Diego Martinez, 34 years old, had immigrated from Mexico City, studied computer engineering at MIT, and now worked as a senior software engineer for a major tech company in Boston. His wife, Sophia, 32, had a master's degree in child psychology, but chose to be a full-time mother after their children were born. They had 2 kids, Emma, 8 years old, smart, curious, learning piano; Lucas, 6 years old, energetic, playing soccer. The Martinez family moved to Oakwood Heights in 2021. Diego had gotten a promotion and was looking for a better school district. Oakwood was perfect, safe, quiet, friendly. In their first week, Richard Brennan knocked on their door, carrying homemade cookies. "Welcome, I'm Mr. Brennan, neighborhood watch captain. If you need anything, just call." Diego and Sophia were impressed. "You're very kind," Sophia had said. "We don't have neighbors like this in Boston." "This place is special," Brennan had replied. "We look out for each other." Over the next 3 years, Brennan became part of the Martinez family's life. He attended Emma's school play. He watched Lucas's soccer games. When Sophia was sick, he brought soup. When Diego went on business trips, he'd say, "I'll keep an eye on your house." In July 2024, the Martinezes planned a 2-week vacation to Mexico. Diego told Brennan, "Mr. B, could you watch our house? Water the plants?" "Of course, don't worry, Diego. Just leave me a key." Diego handed over the key. No hesitation. Why would there be? This man had been there for them for 3 years. But Diego didn't know. With that key, Brennan did more than just water plants. Harrington took action. He reopened the 3 old cases. Margaret Whitmore's autopsy report. Head trauma, consistent with fall, but alternative explanation possible. Blunt force trauma. Thomas Delacroix's staircase accident. Marks on the middle step, not the first, suggesting he might have been pushed. The Hensley couple. The furnace malfunction. But the technician's report noted suspicion of deliberate tampering. None of it was definitive evidence. But there was a pattern. Jake conducted street investigations in the neighborhood. He spoke with residents one by one. Many praised Brennan, but some offered small details. "I saw Mr. Brennan outside at 2 a.m. once. He said, 'I can't sleep, just walking.' I found him in my garage once. I asked, 'Do you lose something?' He said, 'No, just checking.' When he asked for my key, I felt a little strange but couldn't say no. Everyone gives him one." Sam re-examined the Martinez home. She found a hidden folder on Diego's laptop, labeled Brennan Evidence. Inside were video files. When Sam played the video, the office fell silent. Video. September 2024, 2:30 a.m. Dark house. Front door opens. Richard Brennan enters with his key. Flashlight. Silently walks into the living room. Examines the walls. Goes to the kitchen. Opens the refrigerator. Then enters the bedroom. Stays for 6 minutes. When he exits, he's holding Sophia's jewelry box. "Clear theft," Sam said. Diego recorded this. Harrington checked the cloud account. Diego had written a note on October 25th. "Brennan stole from us. Security footage is proof. Confronting him tomorrow. Should I go to police or give him a chance first? What does Sophia think?" Sophia's reply, "Let's talk to him first. Maybe there's an explanation. Maybe loneliness, a problem. We'll understand." Diego, "Okay. I'll talk to him tomorrow night." Date, October 26th. 1 day before they were killed. Harrington put his head in his hands. Diego was about to confront Brennan. Brennan found out, and he silenced them. Marcus added, "This wasn't spontaneous, David. Brennan did a risk assessment, made a decision. Either the mask falls or Diego goes. He made his choice." Sam found another file. "And look at this. They found a journal in Brennan's house. 10-year diary. Every burglary, every visit, every house layout, detailed notes." Jake brought photocopies. Harrington read, "June 2015, Henderson House. Layout memorized. Alarm code 4782. Laptop location, upstairs office. Entry, night, side window week." June 2016, Margaret. Alone week, stairs dangerous. Opportunity, home visit day. Method, push, make it look like fall. September 2024, Martinez. Diego suspicious. Camera possible. Risk increasing. Evaluate. Harrington flipped through the pages. Margaret, Thomas, Hensley, all documented. Successful removal. Zero suspicion. This journal was proof that Brennan was a complete psychopath. Detailed planning, lack of empathy, trophy keeping. For 10 years he'd used the community as his hunting ground. Though the story you've watched is fictional, the truth underneath is very real. People who appear trustworthy are sometimes the most dangerous, because trust can be the greatest weapon. Richard Brennan wore a perfect mask for 10 years. Helpful neighbor, community leader, guardian angel. Everyone loved him. Children loved him. Families trusted him. But beneath the mask was a cold, calculating, empathyless psychopath. And for 10 years, he saw his community as a hunting ground. The question that must be asked is this: In your neighborhood, among the people you trust, how many Richard Brennans are there? The answer is unsettling. We don't know, because the masks are worn too well. But awareness is the first line of defense. Background checks, multiple oversight, technology, peer accountability, informed trust instead of blind trust, healthy skepticism instead of hero worship. Diego Martinez wanted to do the right thing. He was preparing for confrontation, but it was too late. If he'd given the footage to police earlier, his family might still be alive. The lesson: when you suspect something, speak up. Report to authorities. Saying, "But he's such a good person," isn't enough. Let evidence speak, not emotion. Subscribe to Dark Case Files, turn on notifications, and tell us in the comments. Have you ever questioned someone you trusted? How did it make you feel? Follow us for more stories like this, because real crimes come from the most unexpected places, from the most trusted-looking people. And remember, some masks are so perfect, they don't even reflect the true face to the wearer until they're removed. But by then, it might be too late. Oakwood Heights is safe now, but the scar remains, because some wounds never heal. You just learn to live with them. Richard Brennan was a neighborhood hero, until everyone realized he never was. After the trial, Harrington spoke to the press. Richard Brennan made Oakwood Heights appear safe for 10 years. But real security is not the same as perceived security. Community trust is essential, but blind trust is dangerous. Background checks, multiple oversight, rotation systems, these can help prevent predators like this. Jake Morrison returned to Oakwood Heights and launched a new neighborhood watch program. The opposite of Brennan's model: 3 rotating captains, monthly police oversight, mandatory background checks, no single-person home access. The community initially resisted. "We can't replace Mr. Brennan," but Jake patiently explained, "We're not replacing Mr. Brennan, we're replacing the system, because the system failed." Sam Reeves spoke at technology conferences. Home security should look inward, not just outward. Trust must be verified. Diego Martinez had installed home cameras, but realized too late. Earlier discovery could have saved his entire family. Technology is a tool, awareness is the weapon. Chen wrote an article for a forensic psychology journal, "The Protector Paradox: When Community Leaders Become Community Predators." His analysis: psychopaths can flourish in community roles because trust is automatically granted. Background checks, behavioral monitoring, peer accountability are critical. Hero worship is dangerous because it eliminates scrutiny. Elena started a foundation in honor of the Martinez family, the Sofia and Diego Martinez Memorial Fund for Child Safety. Mission: provide education to neighborhood watch programs on recognizing red flags and using technology. Oakwood Heights slowly recovered. Number 47 remained empty for a long time. No one wanted to move in. Eventually, a young couple bought it, renovated it, started fresh. The community's healing process took years. Richard Brennan now sits in Massachusetts Correctional Institution, Cedar Junction, maximum security, solitary confinement. Other prisoners hate him. There's no tolerance for child killers. Brennan rejects interviews, ignores letters. He continues to write in journals, but now no one will ever read them. 6 months later, April 2025, Richard Brennan went to trial. Massachusetts Superior Court. Judge Karen Whitstone, 60 years old, 30 years of experience. The jury of 12 had been carefully selected. Charges: 4 counts of first-degree murder. Diego, Sofia, Emma, Lucas Martinez. 3 counts of second-degree murder. Margaret Whitmore, Thomas Delacroix, Karen and Bill Hensley. 8 counts of burglary, conspiracy, perjury. The prosecutor, Assistant District Attorney Michael Torres, presented the evidence: DNA, security footage, the journal, stolen items, photographs. Expert witness Chen presented his psychological profile: antisocial personality disorder with narcissistic traits, lack of empathy, control obsession. Brennan is a classic example of an organized serial killer who hides in plain sight. The defense attorney couldn't argue. The evidence was overwhelming. Brennan entered a guilty plea, but tried using a mental illness defense. My client suffered a psychotic break following grief. Chen countered, "Psychotic breaks don't last 10 years. Brennan was methodical, organized, aware. This isn't insanity, it's calculated evil." Victim impact statements. Elena, Sophia's sister. "My sister was my best friend. Her children were angels. We trusted Mr. Brennan. We left our children with him. He used our trust as a weapon. Every night I see them in my dreams. Every morning when I wake up, my first thought is why. Diego just wanted to do the right thing. Sophia just wanted to be kind. Emma and Lucas just wanted to live. Mr. Brennan took everything from them." Margaret Whitmore's daughter. "My mother was alone but happy. She trusted Mr. Brennan so much. She called him my guardian angel. When she died, police said accident. We accepted it. But now we know. Mr. Brennan killed her. And we thanked him at her funeral. That tears me apart every day." Thomas Delacroix's son. "My father was a retired firefighter. He spent his life saving people. Mr. Brennan killed him because there was an opportunity. My father wasn't an opportunity. He was a person. And Mr. Brennan saw him as a thing." The Hensley's daughter. "My mother and father loved each other so much. They were planning their retirement. They died together. At least they weren't alone. But they were murdered, and the killer found them. Cried with us, gave us consolation. I want revenge, but it's not enough. No punishment is enough." Jury deliberation. 2 hours. Verdict, guilty on all charges. Sentencing. Judge Whitestone looked at Brennan with cold eyes. "Mr. Brennan, you were an educator for 30 years. You taught people history. You taught them right from wrong, good from evil. And then for 10 years, you committed the worst form of evil, betrayal of trust. Instead of protecting your community, you saw them as prey. You used the trust given to you as a weapon. You killed 7 people. You killed 2 children, and you showed no remorse. This court sentences you to 4 consecutive life sentences, plus 70 years. Parole eligibility, none. Mr. Brennan, you will never be in society again." Brennan showed no reaction. He simply stood, waited for his handcuffs, and was taken away. Interrogation room. Richard Brennan sat at the table, hands cuffed, face expressionless. Harrington and Chen sat across from him, Sam Reeves in the corner, recorder on. "Richard, your DNA was found under Sofia Martinez's fingernails. Security footage shows you burglarizing their home. In your house we found items stolen from victims, a journal, photographs. Confess." Brennan remained silent, his gaze empty. Marcus leaned forward. "Richard, you're an intelligent man. You fooled everyone for 10 years. Impressive. But there's one thing I don't understand. Why Margaret? Why Thomas? What did they do to you?" Brennan raised his head. Silence. Then he began to speak. "But this wasn't a confession, not even an explanation. It was a manifesto. When I lost my wife, I lost everything. Linda was my anchor. With her, I had weight, I had meaning. When she died, I drifted. The therapist said grief process, gave me depression medication, but they didn't understand. The problem wasn't grief, it was meaninglessness." Continue. "When Neighborhood Watch started, I found purpose for the first time. People needed me. They valued me. But then I realized, this is fake. They don't love me. They love the position. I'm a replaceable part. That's when I decided, I want real control, not fake." Were the burglaries for control? The first one was like a test. I went into the Henderson's house, took the laptop. It was so easy. The adrenaline was amazing. I kept it for a week, then found it. Became a hero. Perfect. I felt control. I decided what would happen. I controlled the narrative. Marcus took notes. "But items weren't enough. You started wanting to control people." Brennan paused. Then Margaret was alone. No one visited her. When I went to her house, she was desperate to talk to me. "Sit, have tea, tell me stories," she'd say. One day I realized, If she died, no one would notice. I'd find her. They'd say, "What a tragedy," then forget. And I thought, I can decide her fate. I can control it. You killed her. She was standing at the top of the stairs. I pushed lightly. She fell. I finished it. Called police. Waited for the ambulance. Cried. Perfect performance. Harrington felt his stomach turn. Thomas? The Hensleys? Same logic. They were vulnerable. I was in position. Opportunity existed. Why not? People die all the time. I just decided the timing. The Martinez family? Brennan's face hardened. Diego was smart. Too smart. He set up cameras, caught me. He emailed me, said let's talk. I knew what would happen. Confrontation, police, arrest, trial. 10 years over. Or, I remove them, secret stays safe. You killed the children. Collateral. Diego and Sophia weren't enough. Emma and Lucas could have been witnesses. Risk had to be eliminated. Marcus interjected. Richard, these people trusted you. Sophia made you meals. Emma drew you pictures. Didn't you feel anything? Brennan looked at him. His eyes were empty. Feeling causes loss of control. I stopped feeling 10 years ago. October 27th, 6 p.m. Harrington secured the arrest warrant. The SWAT team was ready. The plan was simple. Approach quietly. Shock effect. Allow no resistance. Brennan was at home, watching TV. Jeopardy. There was a knock at the door. Police. Richard Brennan. Open the door. Brennan stood up, feigned surprise. Opened the door. Detective Harrington? What's going on? Richard Thomas Brennan. You're under arrest for the murders of the Martinez family and on suspicion of the murders of Margaret Whitmore, Thomas Delacroix, Karen and Bill Hensley. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Brennan's face changed. The shock mask fell. His eyes showed a moment of panic, then emptiness. The handcuffs were applied. Police searched the house. What they found was incredible. In the garage, in the toolbox, Sophia's jewelry box, the Hendersons' laptop, the Nivians' watch, all items stolen from 8 burglaries. In the bedroom behind the closet, the journal, 300 pages, handwritten, detailed plans. On the desk, in a drawer, photographs, pictures of the victims, Margaret, Thomas, Hensley, Martinez. Brennan had watched them, photographed them. Harrington looked at Brennan. Why did you keep these? You could have returned them. You could have burned them. Brennan smiled. For the first time his real face showed. Cold, empty, calculating. Trophies, memories. They remind me of control. They trusted me, thanked me. I controlled them. They didn't know. Perfect. 2 days later, Wednesday afternoon, Harrington sat in his office. His team was assembled. Jake Morrison, former Detroit cop, street investigation specialist. Sam Reeves, MIT graduate, forensic technology expert. Marcus Chen, criminal psychologist, retired from the FBI. An email arrived. Lab results. Harrington opened it, read it. His expression changed. DNA match, 99.7% certainty. The skin tissue found under Sophia Martinez's fingernails. Richard Thomas Brennan. Jake whistled. Impossible. The neighborhood captain? Not impossible. Harrington pinned Brennan's photo to the board. Now we have work to do. Jake, I want Brennan's last 10 years torn apart. Everything. Financial records, travel history, medical records. Sam, digital footprint, phone, email, social media. Marcus, psychological profile. Who is this man? Marcus opened the file. Richard Thomas Brennan, born 1974, 30 years teaching history at Dedham High School. Wife Linda Brennan died of ovarian cancer in 2012. No children. Early retirement, 2013. Neighborhood Watch started 2014. Neighborhood Watch started 2014. Any personality changes after his wife died? According to records, he went into depression, saw a therapist for 6 months, then started community work, called it his healing process. Harrington thought, or his mask-wearing process. Sam opened her laptop. Brennan's digital life is very clean. Too clean. Minimal social media. Email only for official matters. Low phone traffic. It's like he deliberately avoided leaving traces. But there's something, Sam said. In the neighborhood records, there are 8 burglary cases over the last 10 years, none reported to police, all in internal neighborhood watch logs only. Harrington leaned forward. Give me details. Look, 2015, Henderson family. Laptop and jewelry stolen. Brennan found them 2 weeks later. 2017, Norgine family. Cash and watch. Again, Brennan found them. 8 cases, same pattern. Brennan became the hero every time. Marcus nodded. Classic control mechanism. Create the problem, solve the problem, gain trust. Jake added, and there's worse. 3 accidental deaths in the neighborhood over the last decade. All 3 in homes Brennan had access to. Names. 2016, Margaret Whitmore, 72. Fall at home, head trauma. Brennan found the body. 2019, Thomas Delacroix, 68. Fell downstairs, broken neck. Brennan had visited that day. 2021, Karen and Bill Hensley. Carbon monoxide poisoning. Brennan found them during a house check. Harrington closed his eyes. 3 accidents, all in homes Brennan had access to, all victims who lived alone or without surveillance. Marcus began writing the profile. Pattern is clear. Brennan isn't just an impulsive killer. He's been doing this for 10 years. Serial predator. Used his community position as a hunting ground. David Harrington, 47 years old, was a homicide detective with 24 years of experience. 8 years with Boston Police, 6 with Massachusetts State Police, 6 with the FBI Violent Crime Division. Now he worked as an independent consultant, called in for the most complex cases. When Harrington arrived at the scene at 11:30 a.m., his first move wasn't to examine the evidence, it was to feel the atmosphere. The street was silent, but thick with tension. Neighbors clustered in groups, whispering. Media helicopters circled overhead, and one man stood out from the others, grey-haired, wearing glasses and a cream sweater, offering coffee to police officers. Richard Brennan. Harrington walked inside. The crime scene was the most organized family massacre he'd seen in his career. Systematic, planned, unhurried. Each death used a different method, but followed the same logic. Silence, control, efficiency. No forced entry, said the crime scene coordinator. Doors locked, alarm off. The perpetrator either had a key or was someone from inside. Harrington looked at Diego's body. Single strike, skull fracture, immediately rendered unconscious. Whoever did this knows anatomy, knows exactly where to hit. While examining the strangulation marks on Sophia's neck, the forensic pathologist noticed, there's skin tissue under her fingernails. We can extract DNA. Harrington looked at the refrigerator. He saw a business card. Richard Brennan, neighborhood watch captain. Who is this? He asked. The neighborhood hero. He's run the watch for 10 years. Everyone loves him. He made the first call today when Elena screamed. Harrington went outside and met Brennan. First impression, harmless, sad, helpful. But Harrington had been a homicide detective for 24 years. He knew how to read people, and there was something about Brennan, too calm, too controlled, too rehearsed. When was the last time you spoke with the Martinez family? Last night, around 7. Have you ever been inside their house? A pause. Very brief. Yes, a few times. I checked on it when they traveled. Did you have a key? Another pause. I did, but I gave it back. Lie. Harrington knew it, but there was no evidence yet. It was a cold Friday night in October 2024, 11:47 p.m. Richard Brennan walked down Oak Street, wearing his reflective vest and carrying his flashlight, as he always did. The air was cold, his breath visible in the night. A few neighbors glanced out their windows, waved, felt reassured. Mr. B was on duty. Brennan stopped in front of number 47, the Martinez house. The lights were off, but he knew the family was home. Diego's car was in the garage. A dim bedroom light glowed through the windows. Brennan pulled a key from his pocket. Diego had asked for it back after their vacation, but Brennan had said okay and never returned it. Why would he? His plans required that key. But this time was different. This time it wasn't just about stealing a jewelry box. This time, Diego was a threat. 3 days earlier, Diego had emailed him, "Mr. Brennan, I need to talk to you. It's important. Can you come by tomorrow evening?" Brennan knew what it was about. Diego had found the security camera footage. In September, cameras had recorded Brennan walking through the house. Diego was smart. He'd installed the system discreetly. Cloud backup existed, and now he had proof. Brennan faced 2 choices. Either his 10-year game would end, leading to court and prison, or he'd silence Diego and maintain control. For psychopaths, the choice is easy. That night, Brennan entered through the front door with his key. The alarm was off. Diego trusted him, saw no need to set the alarm because Mr. B was on the street. Brennan moved toward the kitchen. Diego was there getting water from the refrigerator. Didn't see Brennan. Brennan quietly approached from behind. In his hand was a blunt metal pipe. He'd brought it in his bag. One strike. Diego collapsed to the floor. Sophia was upstairs, sleeping. Brennan climbed the stairs, entered the bedroom. Sophia woke up. "Who's there?" Brennan lunged at her, strangled her. Sophia struggled, scratched his face with her nails. Brennan didn't feel it. 3 minutes later, Sophia was still. Then the children's rooms. Emma, Lucas. Brennan didn't hesitate. They were witnesses. They were risk factors. The children were killed in their sleep. They didn't suffer. Brennan cleaned the house, wiped blood, wore gloves. But he made one mistake. Skin tissue remained under Sophia's fingernails. He didn't notice. At 1:15 a.m., Brennan left the house, locked it with the key, continued his patrol. No one suspected anything. Mr. B was on duty, same as always. The next morning, Elena, Sophia's sister, couldn't reach her and grew worried. She came to the house, knocked on the door, used her key to enter, and lived through her greatest nightmare. 4 bodies, blood everywhere. Her 911 scream shook Oak Street. Richard Brennan was 2 houses down, mowing his lawn. When he heard the scream, he ran over. What happened? Oh God, what happened? He was the first to call 911, the first to ask for help. Perfect role, perfect mask.